Shout out to Claritin for supporting this episode and providing us with samples.
My family is an allergy family, and one thing I can always count on is that somebody has the Claritin.
Luckily, for those of us who live with symptoms of allergies, we can live Claritin Clear with Claritin D.
Designed for serious allergy sufferers, Claritin D has 2 powerful ingredients in just 1 pill that relieve your allergy symptoms and decongest your nose so you can breathe better.
This double action combination of prescription strength allergy medicine and the best decongestant available relieves sneezing, a runny nose, itching, and watery eyes, an itchy nose and throat, and sinus congestion and pressure with ease.
I've got 2 nieces with extreme allergies, and the only thing that helps them is Claritin. We've always got it.
Oh yeah, my boyfriend, let me tell you something. When the allergies start up in Los Angeles, it's like, this is like reach for that Claritin. Ready to live life as if you don't have allergies? It's time to live Claritin Clear.
Fast and powerful relief is just a quick trip away. Find Claritin D at the pharmacy counter.
Ask for Claritin at your local pharmacy counter. You don't even need a prescription.
Go to Claritin.com right now for a discount so you can live Claritin Clear. Use as directed.
Okay, everyone knows that Ronnie and I are big fans of coffee, and I particularly am very, very attached to my iced coffee.
So we're very excited to tell you about an incredible new product, Quest Iced Coffee.
You may know the Quest brand for redefining nutritional snacking, bringing you some of your favorite foods with added health benefits.
Iced coffee is Quest's newest product with mocha latte and vanilla latte flavors.
And Quest Iced Coffee has 10 grams of protein and only 1 gram of sugar. I'm literally drinking one right now as we record this ad, and I've been drinking them all weekend long. They are delicious. They give me the boost that I'm looking for in flavors that make me so deeply happy.
And it's a total game changer in the morning routine because I don't have to sit around making it. You know, it's just right there and it's protein right into my veins.
Find Quest Iced Coffees on Amazon.com/Quest Nutrition. Audible offers an incredible selection of audiobooks across every genre.
As an Audible member, you can choose 1 title a month to keep from their entire catalog. The time is now, more than ever, to embrace the breathtaking, sinister, and shocking tales that have enthralled you, especially with brand new exclusive thrillers from best-selling authors who are guaranteed to keep you gripped.
Right now, one thing that I'm very interested in taking a listen to is The Daughters of Block Island, which is currently number 1 on the mystery, thriller, and suspense list. So that is definitely going into my queue. New members can try Audible free for 30 days.
Visit audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500. That's audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500.
Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Hello, and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me today is the one and only Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I am doing so well. Here we are to recap the Valley today. We are a week out from our European shows. It's so exciting. We're going to London. We're going to Birmingham. We're going to Dublin. London's sold out, but there are tickets in Dublin and Birmingham, so go see us there. For those who didn't see, we are going to be recapping some of our favorite European episodes of Real Housewives, as in when the casts go to Europe. So in London, we're going to recap the Amsterdam, which is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's when Rinna throws that glass onto the floor. In Ireland, in Dublin, we are going to be doing the Real Housewives of Orange County. What was the name of that episode, Ronnie? Do you remember offhand? It's the Ireland episode.
It's called Shamrocks and hold on, I'll look it up.
I'm so unprepared. While Ronnie looks that up, in Birmingham, we're going to be doing A Case of the Vickies. That's Orange County going to Iceland. The episode is called A Case of the Vickies. But we don't remember what basically the Ireland episode. There are 2 Ireland episodes on Orange County that season. It's the first one. It's the famous one with Tamara being hyperventilating in the Sprinter van. We all know the gif. We all remember that scene. We all remember Shannon Bedore going, "Top of the morning to ya!" So we're going to have a great time in Europe, and that's all that there is to say about that. So in the meantime, did you find it, Ronnie? Shamrock?
Oh, stop pressuring me. Hate being put on the spot. Now I'm staring at our stupid Instagram. Okay, they're actually listed on our Instagram. There's a post that says Crappens in Europe, and it's us looking crazily at each other. And they're actually listed in the description in case anybody forgets
Shamrocks
and wants
and
to check out episode numbers. Yeah, it's called Shamrocks and Shockwaves, season 11, episode 15. Yeah. So go check out episode numbers there on Instagram. Crappens in Europe, it's called. Anyway, so excited to be there and see everybody over there, meet everybody over there. It's going to be great. And you know, I will be meeting literally everybody because that's how I am. Like, hi, I'm Ronnie. How are you? I'm from America.
Top of the morning.
What do you guys think about America? Do you guys have freedom fries here? Just kidding. Do you guys still laugh about that? Or are we over that? I know this isn't France, but surely you got pissed about it too, right? Do you love Americans? Hug me. I'm American.
We're going to have a great time. So, anyway, let's speak of great times. The Valley, so funny, so entertaining. We had Crappy Hour this week, in case you missed it. That's up on our feed, and join us every other week for that. But there was talk about Janet. Like, do we like Janet? Do we not like Janet? And I was of the mindset of, like, Janet is hilarious. So, like, she's awful, but I'm, like, very amused by her. And I still am, like, very amused by Janet. I think that she's just, like, a terrible person, but like I'm enjoying her terribleness. But I feel like this episode, I'm like, wow, but she's also just let's not forget she's really terrible. Like she is so mean. She is so mean and so rude. And I felt alive. I felt alive seeing such rudeness. Also, this really reminded me of season 1 of Vanderpump Rules, because if you remember season 1, Katie and Kristen turned against Stassi. Stassi was like the queen bee, turned against Stassi, and Stassi had to spend like 3 episodes hanging out with like the B string of Sir.
No, that wasn't season 1.
When they went to Vegas. Remember? Like
no,
Stassi
that was
with...
Wasn't that after? Because that was after Stassi quit the show, and then she came back in season 3, and they all hated her now, and then she had to like ingratiate, and she had to be nice to Sheena. Wasn't that?
Yeah, well, it's all of the above. But in season 1, they were mad. I think they were mad because she was dating that guy
Gold
Frank.
came out in season 1, right?
Good as Gold came out actually season 2 or 3. Like she had a different song for season 1.
Because Sheena was nice to her in that Good as Gold episode and she was like, "Oh my God, Sheena's nice now. I love Sheena."
No, but I remember they went to Las Vegas, and I remember they were just like Stassi had to hang out with these randos, and that kind of reminded me of this, where Kristen, you know, Kristen gets ousted, and I wouldn't call Kristen the queen bee, but she's definitely the most famous lady on the show. And so she gets ousted, and now she is sent out into the wilderness while everyone else has fun without her.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
This episode for me, sorry, I'm so lost in that memory. I just can't, my brain doesn't work that far back. So I was like, do I need to start looking things up?
I don't know why it was
Just
such an important point for me to make, to be honest. I'm like, guys, look.
Yeah, I want to support it without Googling things. So I was just like, good, that's great, honey. So then here's what was great for me for this episode is that I told you last week that Janice is a piece of crap for how she's being with trying to exclude Zach, especially Zach and Kristen, from this thing when she's new here, like, you just got here, lady. And you're like, no. And then this week we find out she's trash. And so that's my favorite thing. It's like literally going to a dumpster and going, look, it's trash. And then later when you hear the beep beep sound of the trash can truck backing up to pick up the trash, I go, see, I told you it was trash. I mean, I'm standing in a dumpster and pointing at things. So of course it's trash, dude. You're in the dumpster. So do I win a Purple Heart for this? Probably not. But I do win the feel of a giant meat hand on my own shoulder, patting it and saying, Ronnie, you are correct, sir. You are correct.
So previously on the Valley, I don't know why I feel so nauseous. It's like right here in my chest.
And Jack's going, it's the drinking. It's the drinking. Now, our feeling about this has been Jax is such a dirty little pig. And, you know, the fact that he's on his 19th nose and eyes still bulging out of his face, and then he's judging other people for drinking is hilarious. But then people have been reminding us in comments of plots that I forgot from years past, which is Brittany had GERD, or GERD, GERD. What's that called? Gastroeconomical rondel diarrhea. And so it's terrible for your stomach. And they told her she's got bloody ulcers and she can't drink. And she just keeps on drinking. She just keeps on panning those shots back.
Well, when she said later in this episode that she got her gallbladder removed, I'm like, I don't know what alcohol does when you don't have the gallbladder, but I feel like it's one of those things where like once the gallbladder's out, you probably shouldn't drink anymore. I just have that feeling. So yeah, that's that's there does have to be some personal responsibility.
And for all those, I just felt that wave of like, you judgmental queens. I just felt that from somebody in some car somewhere. So let me just tell you, sir or ma'am, whoever just felt that. Sure, you're correct. We are judgmental queens. I reserve the right. Welcome to America, you fuck. Just kidding. I'm getting myself so mad for no reason. But I do feel like this is being judgmental. But at the same time, we're older now. Like, we've been here a long time on this earth. And as you get older, things start falling apart. And you're just like, dude, caulk your bathroom. You know what I mean? Because you think, someone else will do that. I don't need to caulk my bathroom. Who does that? And then you get mold in your walls. And then you have to redo your whole bathroom. You know what I mean? Brittany, caulk your bathroom. That's what I'm saying. Take it from an old queen. Do you know how much mold I've inhaled? Listen to the old queens. We know. We've been there.
So, of course, the big thing is that Janet is doing a baby moon. Or as, in case you didn't know, we have also Zach saying, Janet's doing a baby moon? So then... Janet's doing a baby moon?
Janet, I heard you were doing a baby moon.
It's just like, really hurts. Because it's like a baby moon without that.
And Jasmine's like, don't cry, honey. Please don't cry. It's awkward for everybody. He's like, oh, I'm trying to stop, but I can't stop. Hold on. And I love how he's crying because he's like putting his arms straight out. He's like, oh, baby moon. Oh my God. I'm crying right now. I'm crying. I can't stop crying, everybody. Look, everybody, I'm crying.
Zach is definitely like a gate at a parking garage. Like it doesn't matter what he says. That arm comes flying out, and like you have to put a ticket in him to get it to come back up again. I am crying. I am crying right now.
I'm crying right now.
There's a baby moon. These shirts look great. I'm starving. Who wants Chipotle? Like that.
I'm
every sentence that arm
right
flops out.
I love it. I love the flopping arm. Oh, here's another sign that Janet's a horrible person. She has horrible gays encircling her. This is now. I would like to say Zach is a wonderful gay. I love Zach, and thank you for being a wonderful gay on Bravo because we need it. And to you other gay, you pink crocked gay, shame on you, sir. Shame. They're like Ursula's sea eels that just surround people, but they're in like pink Crocs. They're terrible. These gays.
I mean, I've heard the expression "messy boots," and this is like the first time I've actually literally seen like messy boots. Like
they may be messy, but I can rinse them right off with a hose because they're Croc boots. So,
but by the way, they were being terrible, but also they won the award for best gay charades this episode because.
They did. They were hilarious.
What was happening on the side of that phone call with Janet was unbelievable. I mean, we'll get to it. Also, by the way, great coming out. Speaking of gay, great coming out party for Jasmine. I feel like all season long, she's just been there and you're like, she's sort of like tangentially part of this group. And I feel like this was the episode where she was like, I felt like she found her groove. She had like funny commentary throughout. I felt like she was sort of doing the Greek chorus thing really well. So I felt like this was Jasmine's first proper good episode.
You don't watch The Bachelor. I used to recap The Bachelor on another show. Rose Pricks. Hi, Rose Pricks. You're still around. Hi, old friends. Used to do that there. And I did Nick Vile's season, which Jasmine was on.
Right.
And Jasmine, this is like Jasmine's sweet spot. Because on that one, she's just like, she's the one that's like, this is insane. Like, I literally can't believe this is going on right now. This is like literally nuts. I just can't with this. Like, all of this, like, who's he picking? Who's he giving a roast to? What is going on here? Like, that's Jasmine's sweet spot. Then she went on Bachelor in Paradise. And my memory, I mentioned I'm an old queen, but my memory could be shady on this. But I do remember her being like, this time, I'm not just going to be the person commenting. I'm going to be in the action. So I'm going to get right in the action. I'm going to be part of these scenes. I'm going to really do it. And it was a mess. Like, it was just a huge mess. And so this is her sweet spot where she's friends with everybody and everybody's getting along with her, but she's also just like calling out everybody's bullshit and not really on any sides because they're all too crazy to take a side.
Yeah, and this was like, I feel like we finally got to see that sweet spot. Like, I feel like we saw hints of it, but this was like her best episode so far. So she's like consoling Zach, being like, don't cry. He's like, I'm trying to stop. I'm like, trying to stop. And we resume right at Kristen's James May, like her hot James May event where everyone's sweating. And Kristen's like, don't cry, babe. Like, I love you, babe. It's like, this like really hurts. Like, I thought like we're like in a good place. And like, I literally have defended Janet like 1,000 times over. Also throw her under the bus about 1,000 times over too. But it's like, it's both ways, you know?
It's like nuts.
It's like nuts. Our relationship is like nuts.
So Zach is crying. These friends are terrible friends because I would be like, she's not inviting you to her baby moon. You're part of our friend group. I'm not going to that baby moon. Or I'm going to at least talk to her and say, why aren't you inviting Zach to the baby moon? But everyone's like, sorry, Zach, you don't get to go to the baby moon. I mean, what the hell? Fuck this person who gets to say, like, fuck you and your fucking baby moons, first of all, okay?
Yeah.
We're all buying you enough gifts. That's like the person who holds their wedding over everybody's head. Like, you don't get to come to my wedding. Oh, really? So I don't get to go have your shitty chicken dish and spend $1,000 on a new outfit and fucking gifts for you and a shower gift and a bridal shower gift and a baby shower gift and gifts for the rest of your goddamn life because you've decided to get on some train that's going to cost every gay person in your life money without ever getting anything in return. Fuck off. You can't hold that over my head, asshole. Yeah. Oh, but also I'll make you a bridesmaid, so you have to go to all that shit too.
Yeah.
Okay? And now you're going to hold that over my head? Not fair, ma'am.
Nope. So Nia is like, well, it makes me like really sad to see Zach's reaction because I just feel like he's like collateral damage. Yeah, well, thanks for joining the show, Nia. So Brittany is like, did not take a lot to deduce that, and she's so nice. Even though I called her evil in the first episode and has not panned out, I'm like,
it hasn't panned out, but it could be a slow burn to evil. There could be a slow burn to evil.
She's been like literally the only like lovely person on the show, and she's the only one I called out like definitively as evil. So upset.
But Bravo has us trained to not trust people who are good because they don't really exist on Bravo. No offense, anybody. Well, what do you care? You're all evil people.
Her insistence on calling Danny Daniel, I was like, she's evil. So Brittany's...
Okay, well, here's something I wanted to tell you. By the way, guys, I'm sorry, my ADD is especially out there today. I think because Joe has become... a hero in my life, and I'm just like, I'm gonna lean into that side of myself.
Yeah,
just kidding. Okay, so something I saw on the internet this week was someone was commenting, oh my god, I love Danny, he's such a good husband, I just wish every man was like him on Bravo, he's so supportive and he's so sweet and he's like a role model for other husbands. And then Jax commented, well, we'll see how this ages.
I saw Jack say something like that. Well, it's funny because that's what we've always said about Jax's face. So Brittany...
We were right about that too. God, it's just like a retrospective. This isn't going to age well. And here we are 12 years later. Proven correct once again.
So Brittany's like, well, I think you should call her. He's like, I don't want to cry on the phone. And so Nia's like, yeah, I mean, he's friends with Kristen, so is that why he's not getting invited? No, he's not getting invited because he drives a Toyota. Of course, that's why he's not getting invited. So Jasmine basically thinks that Janet should have given Zach a heads up about the disinvitation or lack of invitation.
Yes. So then let's see. So they're like, well, I think you should call her. You should call her. It's like,
I didn't want to cry on the phone though. Like, oh, I'm just like not enough crying in person without crying on the phone.
So then Luke's like, well, how does this make them any better than Kristen? Because they're sending you in to tell us something, Jax, instead of them saying something. So doesn't that make them as bad? Okay, listen, non-reality person, straight person from Montana logic. Pipe down, okay? We're not dating you. We don't have to listen to you. Quiet. Yeah. So Jax is like, they weren't invited here. That's why. So they couldn't do it because they weren't invited. And Kristen's like, yeah, but they weren't invited. Jax, they weren't invited because I wasn't invited to her thing. So then, I mean, she's not invited to my thing. I mean, what is this, tit for tat? You literally just said it's tit for tat.
Yeah, you tit for tat. And so Jax is like, I don't want to fight other people's battles. It's not fair. I don't want to fight other people's battles. I just want to like light the match and watch you guys. I just want to create the battle. So Jasmine's just confused. Like she's confused why Kristen. She's not confused why Kristen and Luke aren't invited, but like she's not sure why Jax is giving like them a TED talk. And so Kristen's like, this is high school bullshit. I can't. This is so high school. Like when she didn't invite me to something and then I didn't invite her to something in response, it should have just ended there with that sort of high school bullshit. But for her to continue it with other high school bullshit, that's just high school bullshit.
That's 2 tits for 1 tat, and mathematically that doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean?
It's called an eye for an eye, not an eye for an eye and then another eye. Seriously?
Yeah. That's like crazy. I don't know, like she's treating me like the enemy. We were friends, and now she's also like going to take it out on Zach. Like, have you seen his arms flop? You can't do that to him. And then Zach's still like patting his eyes, like, oh my God, hold on, everybody. I'm going to look at the sky now. Oh God, it's so hard. It's so
like
hard not to cry.
It's like,
It is so hard not to cry.
I can't tell if I'm crying or sweating. I just know that I don't want none of those liquids on me. So now everyone's leaving, and Luke asks Kristen if she's okay, but now she's sort of whimpering, and she's like, "No, like what the fuck is happening today? Seriously, huh? Seriously, huh? Caca."
So then Britt goes over to hug Zach, and he's like,
I don't want to cry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Let me look up at the sky.
and she's like, well, I had a conversation with her earlier today, and she definitely feels like you guys are in a better place, and that's why I really want you to talk to her. You should talk to her, because I'm all about talking to the source, That's why I'm always calling, Bass Pro Shops to find out if it's pronounced bass or bass. Bass, 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 bass. Which one do you play? Which one do you throw?
Go to the source,
Which one
all
do
right?
you touch when?
If you got a question, go to the source.
One time I saw one of them singing basses on a wall. I said, "Do I play you?
Are you the kind that I play, or are you the kind that I eat?
Do you sing real low, or do I touch you when I got a baseball in my hand and I'm running for the other guy with the big butt?"
I say, can you sing dueling banjos? But I couldn't remember the lyrics.
I go right up to it and I say, "Hey, you listen here, bass bass. You better make me feel pretty. You better take me on a date one of these days. I need to feel pretty, bass."
I heard that bass bass was part of We Are the World once. You can hear her in the background if you listen real close.
So Zach's like,
You want to talk about mean girl behavior? Janet is high key mean girl, not just low. She's like high. She's like a high key, not low key.
She's like high, low, medium, every type of mean girl that there is. Like, she's good at hiding it, which is like the craziest part. I'm like, since when is she good at hiding it? She like walked onto the show. We're like, oh, there's a mean girl. Like, it's like so obvious.
yeah. It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
This podcast is supported by FedEx. FedEx offers fast delivery, more visibility, simple returns, and weekend home delivery to 98% of the U.S. population on Saturday and 50% on Sunday. With FedEx, you get picture proof of delivery, ensuring you always know where your package is. Returns are simple with packageless and paperless returns. Plus, FedEx Ground is also faster to more locations than UPS Ground. See the FedEx service guide for delivery information. So, what are you waiting for? See what FedEx can do for your business. Absolutely, positively FedEx.
The Coca-Cola Company, Keurig Dr. Pepper, and PepsiCo are bringing consumers more choices with less sugar than ever before. From sparkling, flavored, and bottled waters to zero-sugar sports drinks, teas, and sodas, consumers are taking advantage of these choices. In fact, nearly 60% of beverages sold contain zero sugar. To learn more, visit balanceus.org.
The camera keeps cutting to Simon, the pink croc boots gay, okay? Because he's standing there just like typing into his phone, staring at everything. But he's not standing in the circle. He's like right outside the circle. And so Jasmine goes, Simon, what are you doing? And he's like, what? And she goes, do you want to get in the conversation or are you just recording? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm texting Janet and I'm letting her know what's going on and what's being said.
She goes, you're not involved in this. He goes, sorry about that. He just like scurries off and leaves the party. I love that. Sorry about
First
that.
he goes like 6 feet away and then he texts bitchily like, I'm telling Janet what you just did. I just got kicked out of the circle for asking about you. And then they show him like
just show
speed
the pink
walking away
Crocs.
around you just see the
pink
pink
Crocs
Crocs
just disappear.
and his short jorts. Just like I mean,
It was very reminiscent of Erica Jane's publicist, aka Gretchen Rossi's dinner party attendee back in Orange County. Remember Jack? Oh, you know what? Because they
Yes.
cut it out of they kept it in the international version, but they cut it out of the American version of Jack eavesdropping in and then like leaking information to the press. It was like definitely in the same vein as that. So,
but this one wasn't even hiding. I mean, he's like literally standing right by
like-
the circle, like writing it down. It's like, hold on, I have an Apple Pencil. Janet prefers these handwritten. It's more organic.
he was literally doing the Fox 5 thing with like a microphone, just inserting it in like comments. Any comments? It was so blatant.
Funny. And I love that Jasmine is just so used to it. Like they know. It's like Ursula's eels are there, so you know. She's like, Simon, what are you doing? Are you recording? Because it's like, you're the court reporter or what? Because Janet does this shit all the time.
And he definitely like then gave her energy of like, I am the waiter who came by too soon to ask if you're ready to put in your order. Like, are you ready? Oh, nope. Sorry about that. And then just leaves.
The fact that he stood there and like tattletaled on them for getting rid of him, I cannot.
Hilarious.
So then she's like, okay, so then Janet is this Janet? She's like, how did your lunch go with Jax? What were you guys talking about? Oh, okay. So Jasmine's
may
like,
have been
yeah, Janet
that's
is
my
messy
fault.
as hell. I mean, first was Jax's balding event, and we see Janet being like, what was the lunch? What happened at the lunch? What did everybody talk about? What was the gossip?
Which, by the way, hilarious that Jasmine goes, first it was Jax's balding event, which that rebranding of it is hilarious. He goes, and now we have Harriet the spy reporting back to her. If Janet put Simon up to this, that's messy as hell. And then we just see the blur of pink as the Crocs exit stage left.
I was laughing so hard.
Now we go over to the Lolly house and we see Michelle. There's like a porch swing. They have like what turns out to be like a rooftop kind of deck area, and it overlooks the Chateau Marmont. It's so poetic. And Michelle is lying on it like someone who looks, I don't know how you could be lying on a porch swing in this like very tranquil environment and still look so uncomfortable and unhappy. She's just lying there like I cannot wait to get out of this porch. I cannot wait to leave this marriage. I'm going to stare at the Chateau Marmont and look for Rob Reiner. Hopefully he will see me from here.
And so Jesse enters wearing, like, can you just fucking go do mushrooms? You know what I mean? Like, why do people have to wear a cap? It's like, look at me. I'm different now. I'm wearing a cap.
I'm wearing
a
a
knit cap.
But it's like, it's not just like a knit cap. It's one of those big things that's like, it's somewhere between like a knit cap and a tam. And it just looks, we've all seen it.
It's like you're dressing like you work in a head shop, right? Do
Yeah,
you think it's like a head shop cap? It's like, yeah, I smoke weed now, so.
It's definitely like it's the sort of knit cap that you wear when you've just like done ayahuasca. I feel like it's like, oh, there's
Totally,
someone
it's
who
a drug.
is like,
It's like a drug hat. It's like I just did drugs, guys.
guys, I went to Joshua
We're very
Tree.
proud of you.
It's like the I went to Joshua Tree hat, right? So
God forbid you drop some mushrooms and just go on with your life like the rest of us. Like, you don't need a fucking display. Why don't you just go to fucking Walgreens and buy some poster board like you're about to do a science fair and just wrote, I did mushrooms one time, and just wear it around.
and listen, we
loser.
know your hair is still dented from your headband under that thing. So like, don't even try to hide it. We watched that dent all season.
He's gonna have just different shapes of hair depending on what hairpiece he's worn to convey a mood.
I mean, his hair looks like a saddle at this point. You could just like hop right onto it and ride him to someplace.
I would. Okay, so he comes in. He's like, I'm peaceful now. I've done ayahuasca. So.
Yeah. And he gives her this hug. And it's like this long hug.
Ugh.
And then he like kisses like sort of
hug.
her ear, like a like this big, like he's inhaling whatever's left of her soul. He's inhaled it out of her ear.
He is totally death eating her. He's like, Harry Potter. So yeah, he's just sniffing her deeply, and it's just so gross. And it's that kind of, it's like, look, I never thought to smell you before, but now that I've been fucked up in the desert and paid 30 grand for it, I'm a different man. No, you're not. You're still on fucking drugs. How about you call me tomorrow when you come down and you're in the fetal position sobbing because you don't have any serotonin left, okay?
Yeah.
That's the real you I need to see, not this.
So he tells us something that's really like something you always want to hear from your significant other. I go into every situation, whether it's a therapist or a coach, saying, "How can I manipulate this?" Was that your
But
wedding
this
vows,
time,
sir?
I just accepted whatever was happening to me. So, it's crazy. It's not my personality.
Do you want a medal? Like, I mean, he's basically saying, normally I manipulate the fuck out of a situation, but here I was altered by drugs, so I just couldn't do it, and therefore that makes me a better person because I succumbed to a chemical reaction in my brain.
She's like, "So, are you okay?" And he's like, "It was pretty profound, actually." She goes, "Well, you seem kind of calm. It's freaking me out."
I'm so aware. Which, by the way, memo to anyone who's listening, never say that phrase. Never say, "I am so aware." He's like, "I am so aware." It was plant-based medicine mixed with like hardcore meditation and breathing. And it was like the most unbelievable experience, but it was also like so overwhelming. And like it came on like real hard. Like everyone turned into energy, like the hillside, the grass. I got rid of the burning in my head. I was like, I saw this demon and I just like kept trying to throw the demon away. I mean, I died. I literally died. Once I had some apple juice in me, I realized it was all beautiful.
Michelle yawns. It's like a
By the
big
way-
yawn shot of Michelle. I died.
If there's anything that could make me take Luke's side on LA, it's really this entire monologue. Like after hearing Jesse say this, I'm like, you know what? I get it with Luke. You know, I think I get it. He doesn't have to stay here. There's no reason he has to stay here. This is ridiculous.
So he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I finally realized Jesse is enough."
Okay, you're now quoting from the Barbie movie. So she goes, "So how do you feel now? Like, do you feel different? Do you feel like a changed person?"
I feel completely different. When I say I died, it was like an ego death. My ego died. My ego is dead. I'm mourning my ego. I miss it. Sorry you were so short. See? Look at that. Like crazy.
An ego is like, that is like a pretty really, like an ego that big is like really hard to kill, but he has a completely different energy. So maybe it did work. I asked Jesse to be a different person and he came back a different person, and that makes me happy.
Hold on. I am making a gravestone for my ego. It says he died tall. Okay. That was a good ego funeral for me. He goes, "I was blind and now I can see." Okay, now you're just going to quote Amazing Grace. You have officially not changed.
I'm so aware.
She's like, "It's interesting to say you've been blind because I think that's exactly the case of what had been happening for the past couple of years."
More like, yeah, I was blind, and now when you put that sack around your hair, it makes me realize how much that dent has been in my life, day in and day out.
Whenever you walk into a room, I wonder what it's like if I was blind. Is that weird?
Are you done talking about being aware? Because I'd like to go back to this bench so I can stare at the Chateau Marmont and think of the life that I could have had.
I'm waiting to see Rob Reiner's car pull up to the chateau. Can I have a couple of minutes?
They say a Lincoln Continental's on its way. I'm pretty sure it's Rab's.
I just wait for the hot dog car to show up.
Hold on. I got eyes on Sally Struthers. I think he's coming soon.
Did you see the Instagram post that Rosa Dew put up of her driving around with Sally Struthers? I started dying laughing.
I love it. I'm
So-
like,
It's just so cute, but it's just what we're talking about is meathead so much. And then up pops Sally Struthers on our timeline. I was cracking up.
we're going to make Rose bring Sally Struthers to the next Crappies. That's,
Oh my
I'm
God, she
putting it
has
out
to
there.
come.
Rose,
Yeah.
you have your marching orders. Sally
Rose,
Struthers.
We need Sally Struthers there to tell us meathead stories because you know he's going to win best secondary character of the year. We've already given the award out. We've already printed it.
Rob Reiner has already won a Crappie. Congratulations, Rob Reiner. You are a secondary character, even though you actually are not even on the show at all.
Your life has just changed, meathead. Okay, so Jesse's like, yeah, I feel like I was here and then she was here, but then she was running away. So then I was chasing her, but she ran faster. So I got in a car and then I rolled down my window and I said, I'm going to run you the fuck over unless you get inside my car. It's basically The Notebook.
I was so aware. So then she's like, well, thanks for doing all that. That's a big step. And speaking of steps, you can take a few steps downstairs and out of my face right now because you've inhaled the hair off my head at this point. So I'm just going to sit here and pretend that we're not married. Okay, thanks, bye.
And then he grabs her he does a face thing where he grabs her face,
like,
pulls her
yeah,
and kisses her
yeah,
really hard. She's like,
yeah,
ew.
Yeah. She just hates it.
Yeah, he's, but part of me is like, should I feel bad because he's making an effort? And then I remind myself, going to get shit-faced in the woods with somebody is not getting help. Like, go get real help, you fuckwit Peter Pan.
So then somewhere in the valley, a little bell rings, and it is time for a gay summit at Janet's house. So Janet is there. Simon comes over. Jared is already there. He's sitting on the sofa. And Simon and Jared are like tag teaming her with help for her big bear looks. They're giving her...
I'm sorry. I've never heard the term big bear looks before. Ever.
Yeah, it's not really a destination...
That's not a Leo.
For that. We have yet to see Big Bear Fashion Week. I'm sure it exists. I'm sure Alex
Big
McCord
Bear
has been
looks
to it.
are jogging pants and sleeveless shirts.
Vests.
Okay. An awkwardly crafted tattoo that you probably got at a party from some reality show. Loser. Okay. That's Big Bear fashion.
It's called a fedora, like some sort of like beige fedora. And you're set. So Jared's like, oh my God, should we touch like bellies? So they like touch bellies and everything. It's fun. And so Janet is like, so Simon, I want to know about Kristen's event because this is like the event is like from like 3 to 6 and at like 5 o'clock, I'm like, Simon, what is happening over there? I need to know something. Like I'm sitting here on the edge of my seat. I'm like, you're right in the jaws of the monster. So this is why I am amused by Janet because she is messy and she's so mean, but she's like, doesn't pretend like she's anything other than that. She's like, yeah, I was sitting there waiting for the gossip. I'm like, I'm trying to be messy right now and you're not letting me be messy. Like, hello, where are the Jeets?
Yeah. And he's like, well, I was trying to text Janet and give her the updates, okay? That's what was happening. But it wound up being a big thing with Zach. And it created this awkward moment where Jasmine got really upset. And then Kristen and Zach were crying. And I think they were just so triggered. Here's what it is. They were feeling excluded. Okay, did you get to that part in the video? You did. Okay, they were excluded. I don't know how to feel about that. Hopefully you're about to tell me.
So Janet's like, well, I understand about Zach, but like Kristen crying is like, I mean, she like invited 100 people with a flyer and she didn't invite me to it. So, but then like, as soon as she hears that I'm having a 10-person intimate overnight trip, I'm like, I see right through you, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. And both of the guys, they're just puppet gays and they're
They're
whatever
nodding.
she says, they're just like nodding like emphatically.
my
If she's
God.
like, and can you believe it? They're like, no, I can't believe it. And then she's like, yeah, like I'm right. And they're like, yes, you're right. I mean, literal Muppet gays. I was dying watching
It was
this.
hilarious. Like it was like she had,
so
she was like a
funny.
conductor of an orchestra and she was just like just moving her hands. She's like, and now this, and like, you know, her hand goes this way, they nod, it goes this way, they all shake, they shake their heads. It was hilarious.
So she's like, well, Kristen does cry a lot. I mean, it doesn't take much. And then we see Kristen, it's just a montage of Kristen being like, like, I'm crying right now because you guys like really hurt me. Okay.
I'm like crying. And this is the first time I noticed that Kristen really has a distinct way of crying, which is that she sticks her index finger into like the corner of her eye and then she flicks away her tears. I'm just like really crying. Like most people like wipe, they use like the side, they use their whole like hands, they get
She's
right
like
in
the
there.
pickleball of crying. She's like,
She's like playing Space Invaders or something. She's like, got another one. Or sometimes she just puts her finger there and just lets it rest. She puts her index finger alongside her nose and she's like, I'm crying. You can tell because my index finger's in there. I'm collecting the tears that way they trickle down my finger. That way they go down my arm to my elbow.
So Simon's like, yeah, this isn't really good. And Janet's like, yeah, well, that crying isn't working because I see right through it. She excluded me. And you don't see me trying to cry and make everybody, feel bad for me for being excluded from her T-shirt event. Like, okay, but didn't you exclude her first? You started it.
You started, and you didn't have really much of a reason to start it. You just started it. You just joined in on the Michelle Lolly train. And she started it to show extreme loyalty to Michelle.
But by the way, she also started the Michelle Lolly train. This all started because of fucking Janet saying that Michelle Lolly is a Republican and probably supports that Don't Say Gay law, when it just came out this week that Janet herself is a registered Republican.
Oh,
ma'am.
dear.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw people were saying that, and I was trying to look that up. I couldn't find information on that, but that's wild.
What's her last name? I'll look it up right now. Janet.
I don't think she has a last name. I think she's just like Cher.
she's Janet. Janet the Valley registered.
While you look that up,
Republican.
I think the reason why Janet went so hard in the paint for Michelle is because Janet was the one who was the original gossip. And so she's showing extreme loyalty so that way she's not under scrutiny. So it's like, oh, why would I even be mad at Janet? Because, she's been such a loyal friend to me in this moment. So Janet is going really hard in support of Michelle because she knows that she is so wrong and that she kickstarted this whole mess.
This says in 2014, she married someone and became Janet Fortner, who registered as a Republican. And some people are like, well, that's when she was young, and I registered as Republican because my parents did and stuff like that. The point isn't if she's Republican or not. I literally, we could talk about politics and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, everyone's different. I know everyone in this audience is certainly not a liberal Democrat like me. But, the fact is that she's coming for other people and using it as a weapon when she herself was a registered Republican. My point is, hypocrite. Hypocrite.
Yeah.
Not Bueller, not you. Bueller was like, oh, he just put his tail down and what? Come back, darling. Not you.
So then Janet's like, well, you know what? Kristen cries a lot, but it's not really working. I see right through it. She excluded me. You don't see me trying to cry and make everyone, but for me, try to make everybody feel bad for me for being excluded from her event. She definitely playing the victim here. I'm like, you're not crying and you're not asking for everyone to feel bad for you, but instead you're just excluding her in return to the cast trip of the season. So you guys are both being ridiculous right now, to be honest.
So Janet's like, okay, well, I will talk to Zach though. Okay, I'll call him, and then the gays are like, call Zach.
Big nods, big nods, big nods, big
Call
nods.
Zach. So she calls him, and they sit there and just watch her on the floor, do we nod? Do we shake our head? What's gonna happen? Which way is my head gonna move?
Okay, Simon, here's what we're gonna do. It's called Gay Freestyle. Follow my lead. Got it. So
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
The Coca-Cola Company, Keurig Dr. Pepper, and PepsiCo are bringing consumers more choices with less sugar than ever before. In fact, nearly 60% of beverages sold contain zero sugar. Visit balanceus.org to learn more.
Okay, the show's about to begin. Just follow Janet, and then you follow me, and it's going to be amazing. We're going to pull out all the stops. Okay, we're not going to just shake our heads. We're going to flap our hands. We are going to mime actions. We are going to pretend we're part of a steno pool in the 60s. We're going to do everything.
Okay, so she calls Zach, and she's like, I heard you were upset, Zach. And he's like, hold on. I'm flopping my arm out because I don't want to cry, but I'm already crying and staring at the ceiling, and it's hard to look at the FaceTime. Hold on. I can understand why, Kristen and Luke wouldn't be invited, but it's not even a logical thought process of why I wouldn't be included in our friend trip.
Well, it's not a friend trip. This is a baby moon. This is a trip for people who are more than friends. These are for people who are great people that we all love on a different level. And so if you're not part of that group, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that people don't like you on a certain level. And so I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to say how it is.
The gays are just a nodding and a shaking.
You said it
and
just
Zach's
great,
like,
Janet. You said it great.
okay, well, what I also don't approve of, well, look, I can understand, okay, but what I don't appreciate is your pink-booted friend recording me and Jasmine and Brittany talking. And Simon's like, how dare he?
How dare he include me in this drama and maybe make me a cast member, I guess? So then Janet's like, okay, first of all, Simon's a great friend of mine, and he was not recording anything. He was more just transcribing, which is different from recording. Okay, it was like he was making art on the spot that pertained to your dialogue. Okay, and I texted him. I said, hey, what's the temperature other than being very hot? Because I can already feel Zach sweat from here. I said, what's going on over there? And he was like, people are crying. And my response to him was like, oh shit, that was not my intention to make people cry. I feel so bad, as I laughed at home.
Yeah, and Zach goes, but how was that not your intention though? Because like your intention was like to make, I mean, come on, Janet.
And Jared's in the corner just flopping his hands out like, what? Like, how could he even say this? Let me mime without making any sound. How incredulous I am. Huh?
And then Janet's like, Zach, you're coming in pretty aggressive right now for somebody that's expecting an invitation to my baby moon. Oh, fuck off. I love that Janet is sitting there on her bad couch holding a baby moon over people's head like she's the queen of fucking England.
She's acting like Simon Cowell giving tickets to Hollywood during the auditions. She's like, so he's like, I'm coming in hot because I didn't get to go. Also, I kind of just like slapped my arm into my wall right now. So I'm just like feeling a little hurt. Literally hurt. My wrist hurts. Like I literally have drywall on my wrist right now.
I'm only coming in hot because I didn't get to go to a baby moon.
And Jared and Simon are both giving middle fingers like, oh, fuck you.
But they're doing like windmills with their arms, like da 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 da.
And Janet's like, yeah, but instead you're like, I don't get to go, so I should get to go, and it's unfair you're doing this to me. And that's not the right attitude to come in with, Zach, if you want to be invited to my baby moon. And then Jared goes, hang up. He's like doing the hang up, press the hang up button, press end.
Okay, one word. The word is, okay, it's a phone. Okay, hold on 1 second, Zach. I think Jared's trying to communicate with me. Okay, the one word. Okay, Sandra Bullock. No. Okay, potato chips. Wait, it's a movie. Hold on 1 second, Zach. It's a movie. No, wait, hang. Oh, I have to hang up with you. Sorry, that's what they're telling me right now, Zach.
No, actually, I was saying the net. But that is Sandra Bullock. Sorry. I was nervous. God damn it.
Hey, wait a minute.
So she's like, yeah, Zach and I have a history of up and down because our relationship has been a roller coaster. But going into the call, I thought maybe I'd feel bad. But then he didn't even grovel to come to my baby moon. So fuck Zach.
Hey, Zach, my phone is actually literally at 1%, and I don't want it to end and seem like I hung up on you. I want it to end, and I think I do want that. I think I do want.
But wait a minute, we're like ending on a really weird note, but I guess okay.
So then Zach hangs up, and she goes, "What? He just hung up on me right when I was going to pretend like the phone died on him and hang up on him instead."
She's ridiculous. Janet and her Muppet gaze. You're horrible human beings. Please be on every episode for the end of till the end of time. Never leave my television.
Hilarious. It was great. I have to say, standing ovation to the gays. That is how you do you do my main lady is packing for a vacation, and I'm going to be there to support her and make faces in the corner.
I mean, okay, so then we go to Brittany's house and they're packing and Zach's over and she's like, are you sure you're okay to pack with me? I feel weird about you packing with me, Sayu.
What are you talking about? First of all, the first rule about being gay and having female friends is that you join them to pack on TV, okay? So I am just doing my duty because I'm a good gay. And first of all, also, you didn't not invite me to this baby moon, and I'd rather see you before you leave for several days and get poisoned by that bitch Janet and come back and decide not to be my friend again. Oh my God, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry
right now. Please don't let me cry right now.
I don't want to cry.
So then we go over to Michelle and her kid packing with Jesse, and the kid's like, I'm helping. Not enough.
I'm so aware.
Apparently, because your father just went away for a weekend to do drugs, and it's your fault.
You know what, Isabella? If you wanted to really help, you would go get some plant-based therapy, okay? And then you'll be so aware.
Isabella, do more shrooms, you unhelpful little brat.
Maybe once you see the world as energy, then you'll really be helping, Isabella. Thanks a lot.
Isabella, the world is energy. Isabella, not energy. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So now Kristen's in her apartment holding a bowl by her microwave, which I thought was funny because I was like, this is all she has left to do, just holding bowls by microwaves.
Like, you guys, did you get this? Did you get footage of this? I'm gonna do it again. I'm just gonna stand here by the microwave with the bowl. Tell me when you got it.
So this is what Janet's thinking. Oh, you didn't invite me to this, so therefore I'm going to retaliate with this. Like, it's like, where did my like real friends go? Because the people I'm seeing in front of me, seriously, are not the friends I've seen for years. I'm like, Kristen, I hate to break it to you, but you've had toxic friends for years. It's time to revise your group.
Also, you are a toxic friend,
And that too.
Like, it's like a green M&M getting mad at a red M&M for having food coloring. Like, you're literally all M&Ms. I'm sorry to break it to you. So Kristen's like, well,
It's not the metaphor I was expecting, but it's the metaphor I needed.
well, I've always felt so bad for red M&Ms because they get such a bad rap. Like, my niece could never have anything red because whatever they put in red food dye makes some people nuts, and I'm like, that's not fair. I mean, like, how is green dye it's all got to be terrible, right? But they're like, no, red dye is the villain. And meanwhile, they're eating a fucking green M&M. They're like, but green M&Ms make you horny. Those are great. And I was like, wow, green M&Ms has like a better PR person than red M&Ms. Is how I'm taking it. Anyway,
Well,
the point is, Kristen, you're the same. You're all M&Ms.
You're all M&Ms. You're all delicious. So, Kristen feels like Michelle and Janet are trying to make her public enemy number one. But guess what? It's not going to work. Because I have real friends in this group, like Nia and Danny and Jax and Britt. Like, you're really going to put Jax as your real friend? The whole reason why you're in this mess is actually because Jax has thrown you to the wolves and made you look like shit, as you will see for the rest of this episode.
Yes. And she knows it, but she's like used to it with Jax.
Yeah.
Because at least he admits it to her face, you know? She's like, yeah, Michelle asked me to give her space, because Luke is kind of giving her that look like, I'm trying to help you, Kristen. And she's like, but Michelle asked me to give her space, and so I gave her space, and I apologized, and I tried to talk to her, Luke, but then she said, no. Okay, it was like an Amy Winehouse song. But even with Janet, like, I didn't even know we were fighting. And he's like, yeah, but which direction is this going? Is this going forward, or are we moving away, like to Montana? I have plumbing now. She's like, no!
Seriously? He's like, I'll just feed her more of that gecko fruit, and soon she'll come my way. He's just going to gaslight. He's going to slowly poison her with gecko fruit snacks. So now everyone's loading up their cars to go off to Big Bear. And Danny shows up in his big Kia minivan. It's big enough to hold 3 under 2. Hey, it was supposed to be a no kids trip, but we have twin girls that are solely breastfeeding. So we're bringing all the girls, or dare I say, 3 under 2. 3 under 2 going to Big Bear.
3 under 2,
3 under
baby.
2.
3
Going to
under
mountains.
2. So they're talking about presents. Brittany calls Nia from her car. She's like, hi, Nia. In case you have a present for Janet, just leave it in your car for now, so that way she doesn't see your present. Okay, here's my present. You look pretty. It's in the bag. She's gonna open it. It's gonna say you look pretty today. That's all any woman needs. Am I right, Janet?
I had a present for Janet, but I accidentally barfed on it, so we're gonna have to pull over to Rite Aid.
So they're throwing her a mini baby shower, and she has no idea. She's gonna be so surprised to get a baby shower at her baby moon. I hope she brought the right Luke.
I know, but Nia and Danny actually forgot to get a present, so they're going to go to Target. Meanwhile, at the cabin, Janet and Jason arrive at this huge cabin, and Janet's like, I looked up this place on Zillow, and it sold the same year we bought our house for the same amount. So if you get out of LA, this just shows you how much space you can get for the price of your house. Unless you're Kristen Doty, she never gets to see how much space she gets, because she's the worst and doesn't get to come along.
I do not believe you, ma'am. I'm going to go ahead and say that.
Yeah,
Janet can't win with me today, but I don't believe that either. In Big Bear, you cannot get that house for the same price they got that little tiny house in the valley. There's no way in hell. I want to see the Zillow proof, ma'am. So she's like, yeah, it's really good to leave the bullshit back in LA. And by bullshit, I mean Kristen, Zach, and by proxy, Luke.
Thanks for proxying Luke into that.
Luke's like, see, I escaped that one. Fee you. So Brittany's like, Brittany gets sick in the car. And, because she's Brittany. And
That's all.
she probably
Well, to be
did a
fair,
shot of something.
It is like, I feel bad for people who get car sick, because that drive up to Big Bear, it's like, it is nauseating. It's like you're going up a mountain and going left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. It is wild. So
You think it was car sickness?
No, of course not. I'm giving her like a little ounce of car sickness to add into whatever else is going on with her stomach.
You're just like one of the old Costco guys in a hairnet, and on your tray is Grace. You're just like, Grace, anybody? Free samples of Grace coming for free today.
I kind of feel bad for Brittany. I feel like she's in denial about something in her body. Like she's like, oh, I just have that. I have the afternoon nausea. You all get that right. And like, I feel like you need to go to a doctor, sweetheart.
We all barf 5 times a day.
Right? It's just a little bit of that. There's a little bit of the afternoon barfies, And like,
well, yeah.
Oh, you need to go to the doctor. You have an ulcer or something going on. Get that fixed.
Yeah. So Jasmine asked about Jesse's trip, and Michelle's like, yeah, he was very peaceful, but what's ironic is that we got in a fight yesterday, so I guess it didn't work very well.
And he's like, we didn't get into a fight. We talked about a fantasy night. And we see a flashback. And Michelle's like, this weekend we're having a themed party. And we're going to be having a fantasy party at Big Bear. And he's like, oh, yeah, fantasy. Like, what was that, like, little lingerie place we went to, whatever? I'm like, is it fantasy like that? I assumed it was fantasy like,
Game of
princesses
Thrones.
And, yeah.
Hobbits.
Like, not like Jesse Lolly's sexual fantasy after he did ayahuasca.
That doesn't mean like what gets Jesse hard.
Yeah, I don't think
so he's like, you should wear that thong. She's like, I'm not wearing lingerie in front of your friends. And so it's like a pretend fight, but they seem to like have the chem back, right? I'm like, oh my God, these two I hope there's no Bunsen burners near because it's going to start a fire. There is some chemistry going on right now.
He wants me to put on lingerie in front of Jax. And he's like, yeah, if I can get my wife to put on lingerie, I'm going to do it. I haven't had sex in so long.
I love he just says that in front of everybody. And they're like, yeah, whatever. It's like no one's shocked. No one's shocked that Brittany's barfing or that Jesse hasn't been laid in years, And she goes, well, I wouldn't know what that feels like because my husband does not give me any attention at all. Let me tell you. I do not feel pretty. No one makes me feel pretty. Take me on date night or nothing.
Jax, for one of the few times in his career, speaks for the audience when he says, God, poor Jasmine back there. Because Jasmine's in the way back being like, all these awful straight people.
Yeah, and she's solo because Melissa couldn't come because, let's face it, Melissa has a real life to lead and she's not going to be getting involved in this bullshit. Okay?
Yeah. And Zach isn't there either. So she really is like stuck with all these people alone. And so they're talking about how the moon is in retrograde. And Michelle's like, yeah, this is the time of year when people are supposed to fight. That the other day, I was telling Rob, no, the fork is on the left side of the plate, not the right side. And he said, what's the matter with you? And I said, I'm not going to do the whole scene from Harry Met Sally. And he goes, come on, do it once. I said, no, I'm not going to. So, yeah, moon.
And then the waiter came and I said, I will have what she is having.
I did it anyway.
He put my hand on his crotch. Wow, the story's getting a little dark, Michelle.
That was the moment I realized whether you're Rob Reiner or Jesse Lolly, men are all the fucking same.
So Britt's like, I'm excited. We're gonna have some girl time. Me and Jax get away with that the baby. I can't wait to let loose and get away from the stresses of opening a bar. It's been so hard. I told them put chairs in. I told them.
You know what's more stressful than anything else is when we have to get into that golf cart and drive over to that bar and look at the wallpaper and then drive home. That is just one day of stress.
So then at the cabin, Jason is doing handstand push-ups or something, and his wife is just like, yeah, I'm not going to be working out like that on vacation.
He is definitely a guy who reads like Men's Fitness in bed. He's like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to do that kind of push-up.
Totally.
Right?
Oh, my God.
I always
100%.
wonder who reads those, like, who reads those fitness magazines for like the non.
Oh my God, I've known plenty of guys who read them. They like literally they talk about it. They'll be like, oh my God, have you heard what protein does to your body? It's like, yes, but there's a new study, egg whites specifically. Oh my God.
Did you ever learn about like the Cobra Pose crunch hybrid move? It's like actually great for your abs.
Is there an article about red dye and M&Ms? I do not want to talk then. Get the fuck out of here with your fucking protein. Get out. Although the guys on it are hot. But, you know,
Of course.
as I've said a million times, it's not hot to me when people put effort. I like to think it's just magical and they're blessed. But when I see that they actually have to work out, like when they show the workouts, you open it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting a boner. And then you open it and they're like, oh, I worked so hard. I'm like, it's like the sound of Pac-Man dying.
Pew, 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 pew. So Brittany's like, I'm car sick. I knew I would be. And then everyone gets into the cabin and they're all like, wow, this is so big. Wow. And Jesse has like a suitcase dedicated to champagne, and he has his own coffee maker and coffee. And he's like, don't ever believe someone who says, don't worry, the house will be full of alcohol and groceries. Your idea of alcohol and my idea of Bordeaux are a little different. Okay, dent hair.
Yes, you're very rich and important, Jesse. Okay. Tell us more about Capri. So Nia and Danny arrive with their babies and their nana, and Janet gives Jax a shirt, and the picture on the shirt is Jax drowning in Big Bear, which is really funny. What a classic scene.
Yeah, we knew they were going to pull out this clip, right? Of course, they show the flashback of, you can help me. You can help me if you want. You can help me. And everyone just watching Jax hopefully drown in the waters.
Yeah. Hopefully drown. It just cuts to everybody with fingers crossed.
So now they're picking rooms, and so Michelle and Jesse's room has separate beds, and she's like, oh good, I can sleep in this bed and you can sleep in that bed and we don't have to touch each other. And he's like, no, we're gonna have lots of sex, come on, this is a love trip for us, baby. She's like, no, it's not. No love.
So outside it's shots and we hear what Janet's got for the day. A pontoon, which of course she does. Of course you got a fucking pontoon. So then Jesse's like, wait a second, guys, do you hear that? It's the sound of no drama, because Kristen's not here. Let's do a shot. Guess what that means? A shitty show, sir. So congratulations on your stupid show. Also, thank God that you were not mental healthily served, because you're still going to make a goddamn mess of everything. That didn't make sense, right?
I don't know what... Listen.
Mentally, healthily... Like you went to get mental health service and it didn't work out for you is what I'm trying to say.
Congratulations, Kristen's not there, so you get to stare into the gaping hole that is your life and your marriage. Yeah. So everyone toasts, everyone cheers, and Janet's like, and by the way, we are not talking shit this weekend. We're here to have fun. So if you say that name, we're going to put $20 into a jar, and whoever avoids talking shit the whole weekend gets to take the cash home, which unfortunately, if Kristen were here, she wouldn't be able to play the game because you have to have a job and earn money to be able to put things in the jar. Oops, I guess that's $60 for me right in the jar. Whoopsies.
And Jesse's like, I got $100 in my pocket. I'm going to talk as much shit as I want to.
Hashtag my Bordeaux. So now everyone is heading out for their respective things. Boys are going to hang out on the beach. Girls are going to go on the pontoon boat. Jax spills something on Jason's shorts, so he's like wiping it off. She's like, whoa, don't wipe it off my dick, bro. What are you doing touching my dick? Come on, bro.
And Janet has never been to Big Bear. And she's like, yeah, never been before, but we stopped here to get coffee. And they were like, is whole milk okay? And I was like, yes, we're not in LA anymore.
I also want to point out that when they all get to the guys get to the beach, Jax goes, I am pissed drunk at 3:00 on a Monday. This is not normal. Like, just want to show he's drunk in the afternoon because he holds it against Brittany a lot. So just want to show it's on record.
So then Jax is trying to inflate something. And, you know, the question Jax has asked many times, where's the hole at? And Jesse's like, yeah, if you don't know where the hole's at, then you're not going to have a second kid.
Well, where's your second child, Jesse? Last time I checked, you've got a 1 under 3, not a 3 under 2. So Nia's like, oh my God, I thought Jesse was naked because his shorts are flesh colored. And Janet's...
I almost started crying for 2 weeks straight about it.
And Janet goes... she's like, so by the way, guys, Simon came over and he was helping me pack. You should have seen, he had more faces than I ever realized he could make. Like, it was really, I've never felt more supported than we started doing the Macarena when I was talking to Zach on the phone. That was just like the most beautiful thing.
And you got to love that Janet has just announced that no one can speak of Kristen, except for her, of course, because it's going to be in a totally disparaging way. So Jasmine goes, "Oh, Simon, your little spy." She's like, "No, that's not what I wanted to ask you about." No, she goes, "No, and that's what I wanted to ask you about, Jasmine, because obviously I'm super nosy, so I want to know what was going on." And Jasmine's like, "Okay, but then, like, here's what was going on. I was talking to Zach, and Zach is crying because he didn't get invited to a baby moon, and then you've got Simon over here in pink Crocs shaking his head and nodding his head." I was like, "What are you doing that?" He said, "I'm being told to shake my head right now." I said, "By who?" And then he starts doing the film thing. I said, "What is that? Sandra Bullock?" He said, "No, it's not Sandra Bullock." So what are you doing? You're recording this? He said, "No, I'm not recording this." I said, "Get the fuck out of here, Shoba." He said, "It was actually the net." It's actually the net. Super bizarre conversation, Janet. But I really don't know why you sent your guys to take notes.
And we see footage of Simon blatantly eavesdropping. We see him like his eye, like his right eye is like in frame. Like, what was that? What was I hearing there? And I know that Jasmine, of course, is finally attuned to Gabe's eavesdropping because she learned it first and foremost from me, Ben Mandelker, when I caught Jasmine and Lala at my apartment pool talking about Faith, and I sat there on the chaise lounge being like, like taking it all in, being like, must mentally remember all this to put on the podcast.
I love that that's your memory. And Janet, what's her buns? Jasmine is just like, why do I always have gays trying to listen to me wherever I go? I remember being on that pool top and that gay in that sun chair was just craning over, because you're not subtle when you're listening.
No, I'm like,
you're not subtle at all. You're very like, don't look. You're like, don't look over there. Dax Shepard is there.
Oh yeah, I did that to Ronnie.
It was so funny.
I was like, oh, and Kristen Bell is here, and I like craned my neck out. I was like, yep, that's Kristen Bell.
Yeah, I never even
I
looked. You see, that's how you do it.
Because you know what? Who cares?
I care, but I saw it through your eyes, and it was just so much rosier than through my own eyes. You know, I saw Kristen Bell as still just being so fun and solving mysteries. If I had turned around, I would have been like, oh, I can't believe she's still with Dax. Run, Kristen.
Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard will not give a fuck if there is a sweet, kind gay at the end of the row of tables, craning his neck out to be like, is that them? It is them. Like, that's all. I was just doing a confirmation scan.
You didn't do anything wrong.
I wasn't eavesdropping. I was just confirming.
Yeah.
Kristen and Dax,
you didn't do anything wrong. I'm just saying you're not subtle. Like, people know if you're listening, you know. So I think Jasmine has that memory of you at the pool, at the apartment pool, craning your neck over to listen, and she's probably just wondering, what is it with gay people? Like,
but also, like,
do gay people have televisions to watch, or are they only watching us?
But also, like, Jasmine and Lala were being very loud at the pool. They were literally like, so did you hear about Faith? She's like, yeah, let the peasants be peasants. Like, you guys were like yapping loudly at the pool, and you're public figures, so of course the gay is going to listen in.
Yeah. So then Janet's like, okay, well, when he told me that people were crying, I was like, shit, that was not my intention. I didn't want to make people cry. So to be perfectly honest, I don't think Zach should be expected to be invited. And that's just that.
So Janet is losing trust in Zach more and more, especially after the beginning of the summer. And, you know, because that's when Zach was like, I learned it from Janet. Why is Janet not getting any flack? Why is it only me? I thought Janet would be called out more.
Yeah. So Janet's like, yes, Kristen announced this untruth in front of everyone, but I'm not sure Zach fully owned his part in this. And they're kind of a package deal, and maybe I don't want anything to do with either of them. Well, I got news for you, Janet. Your entertainment meter score is low without them. So you're going to need to rethink that, because nobody wants to watch a solo Janet show. Okay? This is an ensemble. So get used to it, ma'am. Get on your tights and get ready for some swan lake, Janet, because this ain't about you solely.
I just love when this hypocrisy of Janet does something mean to Zach, Zach reacts, and now Janet is going to crucify Zach for his reaction to her bad behavior in the first place. It's so classic. Like, this is such a reality star thing. So Janet's like, you know, it's been a month of us being friendly, and I included him in some stuff. Like, I invited him to come to the closed down Big Lots, and I was like, meet me there at 3, and we're going to get some cool stuff. And then he shows up.
Did that close?
The Big Lots on Vineland did close.
No, come on. I'm just about to move to the valley. They can't be closing the Big Lots. That was
Big
one
Lots
of the
is
selling
closed.
points.
Big Lots on Vineland is closed, everyone. It's just an empty shell of a place. I like how she says, though, like, I invited him to some things. And by some things, I mean, like, one thing 3 weeks ago. I had him pick me up and take me to the airport.
And she's like, well, I'm starting at square one, but I'm building trust slowly. And Janet's like, yeah, but to send Jax to send a message, like deliver a message, like what's that about? And she's like, am I allowed to talk? Am I allowed to talk? Janet, you've done nothing but talk. You've called like 5 meetings already. Okay?
I know.
So let Jasmine fucking say something. She's terrible, Janet.
And Jasmine's like, watch your tone with me right now because I'm planning a baby shower for you and you have no idea. I will take these gifts right back, okay? Expensive.
Yes.
I was like, you should just take them back anyway at this point.
So then she's like, do you want to be friends with Zach? And she's like, well, I was willing to give him a shot. Like, she's a fucking American Idol. Everyone needs to line up to be friends with Janet, okay?
Yeah.
And by the way, so far, really all you've invited people to do is give you gifts, which is what this party is. And your last thing was to give your fucking one of your other Muppet gays a bunch of money for his charity. So really, you're just a handout friend. So I don't know why you're acting like you're such a fucking prize anyway. All you do is ask for shit. It's like getting on somebody's mailing list when you ask them to text you your receipt instead of just get the receipt printed is my advice. Because otherwise, it's just Janet is your friend. Did you know today we have a deal on baby gifts that you could buy me? Fuck off.
So meanwhile, over on the beach, Jesse is wasted. He's totally a new, enlightened guy. He's definitely not drinking his problems away. He fixed everything. And so he's wasted. And Danny's like, wow, hey, what's the tattoo on Jesse's neck? And Jason's like, huh, it's like a 2005 tattoo. I'm like, yeah, it looks really bad. So Jesse's just paddling in the water, just like he's just a sad person in the water on a float. And Jax is like, hey, not to kill the mood, but Kristen told me that Michelle was texting somebody on the side. I mean, actually, the real story is that I told Kristen that, but we'll say that Kristen's the one who told me about it.
And Jason's like, hey, why are we sneaking around like little bitches? If we have some information, that's our friend. Let's say it to his face. Because throughout this summer, we've been through multiple situations wherein somebody hears a rumor and then they spread the rumor. So I don't know why we're just not nipping this in the bud. Sir, love your can-do attitude. You are married to Janet. So let's get off the parade float. Okay,
Spoiler alert.
Leading.
Spoiler alert, by the end of the episode, Jason has not said anything to Jesse's face. So
yes,
just want to put that out there. But by the way, I'm right? Like that Jax wasn't the big reveal that at the smokehouse. Jax is the one who said that Brittany told him that Michelle was texting people on the side, and he told Kristen that, right?
Yes.
That is the origin of it. It's not that Kristen told it to Jax.
All right. He told it to Kristen and then he was like, we're not filming this, right? We're not. She's like,
Yes, Jax, we're on TV. Oh.
Just knocking myself out of the booth by accident with my shoulder.
On my head.
Ow, I'm on the ground.
Jax is like, yeah, like the problem I have with this is it's Dowdy, like it's Dodie who doesn't tell the truth. So like, yeah, it's just like she can't tell the truth to save her life. Why would you repeat what she says? Fucking liar.
Wow. Well, you know what? Jesse definitely knows his marriage is in trouble. Look at him floating on the lake. We all know that when a man floats on a lake and his friends don't join him, that's the telltale sign of a marriage in trouble, right? Because that's pretty obvious.
Right. So now let's go to Valley Village.
Oh, I was wondering where that thing was. It's Kristen. Kristen excited that Luke has found the lint roller. Mariposa. See, we don't need those guys. We have compelling content on our own. We found a lint roller, everyone.
So they have to prep for people to come over, which means basically starting all their furniture on fire because they have 97 dogs who piss everywhere and et cetera, et cetera. So that's what they're doing. And they have a counselor coming over, and it's not any counselor. It is Danny and Nia's family counselor. Who could be better? Because they are motherfucking couple goals.
Couple goals. Also lint roller goals. They have such good lint roller organization. So
lint goals. Have you ever seen that girl pillboxing? No, I've never seen that girl. I've never seen that girl with sweater pills. I'm going to tell you that much. Lint roller, pill.
What do you call it? Pill. What am I saying? Pill?
I don't know, but I just know that when I walk into their apartment and I need to roll some lint off me, I just know inherently where the lint roller is, and that's where it is. We have so
Pill
much to learn.
shavers, pill shaver goals.
So Alan, the therapist, comes over, and of course Jill starts losing her mind, and Luke is like, "This is Jill. She's loud, but she's really nice." I'm like, I need to see evidence that Jill is nice. I'm like, I like Jill. I actually like Jill. Jill is a dog I like, but I just hate when people do that, say that like right away. Like, your dog is barking at me. I don't feel like your dog is nice yet. Your dog has to prove their niceness before I can.
I can't speak on this because that's how Bueller is. He barks at people, but he's saying, "Pet me, pet me. Why are you in my house and you're not petting me? You're in my house. You got to fucking pet me." And people are like, "Oh my god, your dog is attacking me." I'm like, "No, it's how he loves."
But you know what,
that's
though? I have
sick, and you're making excuses for your dog.
I do have empathy for Jill because Jill did just get over like 2 weeks of shitting everywhere because she ate a rose petal that Brittany left on the floor. So, you know, I get it.
Jill's had it rough.
Jill's had it rough. And Jill's also in this tiny ass apartment when she's used to living in Colorado. So,
Yeah.
No,
Jill's
for
had
Jill.
a rough go.
Justice for Jill.
Let's let Jill go. Justice for Jill, guys. So, yeah, I think Harold Ramis was playing this therapist. Is that correct?
Maybe. And he makes a big stink about the fact that he has a dog too. It's like, don't worry, I've got dogs too. Don't worry, I've got dogs too. I said, don't fucking worry, I've got dogs too. Jill, you're cool with me.
So
She's like, I mean, everybody knows, like, I'm in therapy because, like, I scream it from the mountaintops that I'm in therapy.
yeah, most people who don't learn shit from therapy do scream it. Most people who still go around fucking up lives on purpose talk about how much they're in therapy.
I've actually been in like a
by the way, I
plant-based
don't want
therapy.
you to misunderstanding me because I do not want you to ever stop.
Yeah. Like, stay, whatever therapy you're doing, stay in it. Yes. I do plant-based therapy, and by plant-based, I mean I eat gecko fruit snacks. Yeah. So
I'm in shoulder hitting temples therapy. Basically, you react to things by hitting your shoulder on your temple. Oh,
I'm in
knock some
t-shirt
sense into
rebranding
you.
therapy. Yeah. What you do is you rebrand your t-shirts and you say, I've been healed. So Alan's like, okay, well, my first question is, why do you have your ottoman so close to your sofa? Is it an ottoman or is it an extension? I just need to know how you guys are planning to use your sofa because it's really freaking me out right now.
So, you know, he asked them things that you're asked about, I would assume, in couples therapy. Things like, where are you guys going to get your money for children? Who's going to take care of your children?
I don't want to hear money. I don't want to talk about that. That sort of gives me the ick. What else can we talk about?
Where are you
t-shirts?
going to live when you have children?
Valley Village or Colorado, one of those two places. I don't want to think about it. Oh, seriously.
Do you have any family to help you take care of the child?
Well, my family's in Michigan. His is in Indiana. So, yeah, like shoulder shrug. No, like no one wants to help us. We're alone.
So then he's like, she keeps answering everything like,
My group of friends is like being really unfair to me. I'll tell you that much. And like, I don't even know if my friends will support my baby.
I'm like, babe, if you're even asking that question, you've got a better group of friends than I do, because my first thought when someone has a baby is like, I'll see you in 6 years.
Yep.
Not, how can I help you babysit this child? I'm
that
like,
is-
I will be moving away. Bye.
Ronnie, that is not a conservative timeline. 6 years. It's more like 12 to 13. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, I say 6. But then when 6 years have passed, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, double that. I can
Straight
hear your
couples are
child
like
in the background.
cicadas. They're like cicadas. They have a baby, which means they basically go underground for 17 years, and then they finally will emerge.
Yeah, and
get
then
caught
they're
in
like,
your
let's
hair.
get wasted. And you're like, oh, God. You're
Let's
still
get wasted.
there.
Let's
I'm
do-
so mature now.
It's like, okay, I will block off a whole night for us to get wasted. And it's like, oh, it's 7:30 and you're passing out already. Great. I'm so glad.
That's my kind of person.
Glad I
right there.
chose
See,
not
I
to
love
do
a
my
mom.
other plans.
I love a mother of a 12-year-old because that's my kind of person. Like, let's get wasted by 8, go to bed. You know that. This
Can't
morning
wait
I
to
was
hear
up at 5:30. Like, guess what I'm doing today? Can you just drop your phone? Just please leave me alone. Good morning. What are you doing today? I'm doing below deck notes. And then by 4 p.m. I'm like, all right, guys, this has been great. Someone told me Taylor Swift was 3 hours, and I was like, bye. I'll enjoy your first song.
You're in the I'm going home era. So, Kristen's like,
The place that I belong. No, 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 for me.
Is that a Taylor Swift song?
I'm going home. No, that's actually Chris Daughtry, I think.
Oh, close.
Hi. It's me. Hi, I'm the mariposa. It's me. So Alan says, I view people as mirrors. And when I'm looking at you people, I start to think maybe we don't need mirrors in our society anymore.
When I start looking at you guys, I take out a black Sharpie and start marking my face up like I'm all botched. Is that weird?
So, Kristen, if people are mirrors, who we surround ourselves with defines us. So tell us about the people you defined who've surrounded you. Stassi, Kay, Janet, Kay, Zach, Kay, Katie, Kay, Tom Sandoval. Ooh. Who else is on this list? It's getting
Wow.
getting
Just
dark.
looked at the mirror you're staring into, and I've got to say, it sees your soul, and it's singing a song. Hold on, let me listen to it. UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. Okay, so you're going to need new friends. Also, don't tell me looking at your friends is like looking into a mirror. I don't want to just like defriend all the ugly people. That's not, you shouldn't look at friends that way,
Yeah, the queen from Snow White is like, wow, that's a pretty intense mirror experience you're having there. That's pretty intense.
Okay, so basically they're kind of incompatible, and the shrink is trying to figure that out. Trying to figure out a nice way to say that, because they don't want to live in the same place. They're both like, yeah, I'm not moving to Montana. Well, I'm not moving to LA. Well, we don't have any family to help take care of the kids, because both of the places we've chosen to live, neither one of our families live there. Also, all our friends hate us, don't support us having children. We have no way to support the children, and we're not getting pregnant anyway. Those poor guys just like, I left the Ghostbusters franchise for this.
He's like, okay, so these people are hopeless, so let me just pull out a random tool from my therapy bag, and hopefully they can just latch onto it and see what happens. So, guys, imagine a donut, okay? All right, Kristen, I'm going to need you to stop biting the air. Okay, I need you to stop. Okay, just imagine a donut that you can't eat at the moment.
Okay, drop the dog toy, Kristen.
But it's in the shape of a donut.
Okay, Luke, stop trying to put a fishing pole in through the hole in the donut. It's okay. All right, imagine a donut. Okay, the center circle will be the two of you. So you guys are kind of like the hole. You're the void. You're the emptiness in the donut. You're the difference between a donut and just like a fritter. Okay. So now as you go around the circle, there's different levels of intimacy of what you'll share with a person. So what I'm trying to say is make out with different wedges of the donut and see which wedge tastes the best to you.
Yeah, I don't really know what he's talking about, but I don't want to live in the middle of Colorado the next few years of my life. So here's what I got to say to everything. Caw.
What is this donut metaphor? Go around the donut and that represents different elements of intimacy. That's like, wait a second, I just got to some sprinkles. What sort of intimacy is this? That's just.
And how can you go do therapy in LA comparing shit to donuts? It's just like, sure, get some location awareness.
I feel like radar would have been a good example. Different like rings of the radar. But donut's just such a bizarre way to get their attention.
Yeah. Okay,
Hey,
so let's
back
go
to
to Big
Big
Bear.
Bear. Yeah.
So the girls meet up with the boys now, and Jesse's out there swimming towards the pontoon, and Brittany's like, "Don't go by the motor! Don't go by the motor! Don't go by the motor!"
Jesse's like, oh, come on, people already died this lake. Come on, there's a propeller. Come on, don't die, Jesse. Come on, we were trying to be on your side. We can't be on your side if you're dead.
And they're like, "Wow, look at his hamstrings, brah." So then Jesse starts horseplaying with Danny when they're back on land and like trying to like beat him up and stuff. And he won't stop. He's like getting him.
like
He's
too
like, "Okay,
extra.
you're hilarious. That was fun, brother, but you can stop now." And he doesn't. He just keeps trying.
Yeah, and it's like with that thing when someone's drunk and it's just like a little too much, and it's getting kind of annoying, and he's like stepping on the chairs and everything, and so Nia's like, oh, this might be a good transition. Who here's been practicing your self-defense? I got my storyline going. Self-defense around here.
Like she goes, "So if any of you girls practice what we learned in the class," and Jasmine goes, "Oh, no."
I was buying expensive gifts for an unknown occasion. So
Her reaction was like, "Fuck no, are you kidding?"
no, I don't. willingly hang out with people like this. So then Jax and Britt do some demonstration, and then like, okay, now Jax, grab Michelle's arm. She's like, we didn't do the class, remember? Because Kristen was at the class, yeah. And so then they're like, okay, we're going to do it. You know what? Jesse and I we're going to do it without the class. Okay, we're going to pretend like we're going to be in a fight, and then I'm going to do some self-defense. So then Michelle just like slaps Jesse on the face.
So then wait, so who? Oh yeah,
play
so they're
fighting
you know this
for
is going to go
demonstration.
bad, right? Because they're like horsing around, and he's an idiot, and so
And
you
he
know
has
he's going to
bad-
go too far because it's him. You
And
know?
he has
You
a
just
track
know.
record of not understanding that you can't like do back the thing that a girl does to you, like, I don't know, tweaking a nipple.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, you've got good nipple memory. Your nipples can
Really remember shit.
I was a little surprised it didn't come up.
Yeah, he's kind of like play hitting her, and she goes, "Ow, my nose! You hurt my nose!" And he's like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, you can't touch my nose," which is also very Vanderpump Rules. It was very Raquel and James. Remember that
And
whole
very
thing?
Marsha Brady.
Very Marsha Brady, the original Vanderpump Rules.
The original nose violation. But yeah, you're right. That is very Raquel and James. And he's like, I didn't touch your nose. She goes, you did. You slapped me. And he goes, when I slapped you, you slapped me. Which, see, this is not a good sign. This is not, we don't like a husband who uses that logic to slap his wife. I know
Yes,
it's play
and
fighting, but like, I don't like that logic.
Yeah, none of this is great, you know, and especially on Jesse's like a big redemption episode where he couldn't even make it 20 minutes into the episode without not being redeemed at all. So Janet's like, well, I'm like 10 years past my nose job, and yours is only 1 year off, so you got to be careful.
And then we see a 2018 picture of Michelle pre-nose job where she looked a lot like Katie, which was hilarious. She had Katie's hairstyle and everything. And then she's wearing a shirt because I think that's maybe this is when she was no, it couldn't be when she was expecting. But she's wearing a shirt that says, I'm a bundle of joy, which that was funny. That was some good visual comedy right there. Michelle,
Why
a
couldn't
bundle
she
of
be
joy.
expecting? How old is Isabella?
Isabella is if she had the baby at 2018, Isabella would be like 5 or 6 at this point. And
Isn't
Isabella's,
she?
I thought Isabella's like 3.
Oh,
I don't know.
can't
You know
tell.
what? I don't know. And honestly, I quite frankly don't care. And I don't need anyone to correct me on this. The point is, she's wearing a shirt that says, I'm a bundle of joy. And that's
so
just a
then-
phrase I don't associate with Michelle ever.
Yeah, it's babies usually bundles.
That's
of
what I
joy.
thought. Maybe she was pregnant. Either way, when she gave birth, whatever joy was in her came out at that moment too. Okay, this is a lady that has no joy in her, and I understand why, because she's with Jesse Lawley.
Yeah. So Jax is like, it's someone with 3 nose jobs. I understand, you know. Like, I have to say, back when we had intimate times, God, that was a long time ago. Woodstock was out, right? Am I right? Brittany knocked my nose, and oh, God, she was just getting so excited. God, it was hot. Yeah. Who were we talking about? Michelle's pretty hot, right? Yeah. Come sit on Daddy's lap. Come on.
So now Brittany gets a video from the nanny or the babysitter or whoever of Cruz. He's in swimming class and he's crying. So she's watching. She's like, oh, I don't like to see that. So she's getting sad because Cruz is sad. And like, it upsets her that Cruz is upset. And so she's watching it. And Jack's like, do you have to watch that? Come on. Like, I don't want to watch that either. Like, this is why I walk away when I go to class. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. I'm like,
I mean, in his defense, she is standing there going, oh my God, this is breaking my heart. He's in swim class. Look, everybody's crying. It's breaking my heart. Look at that. Let's watch it again. Hold on. Let me
she's
rewind. Look at
definitely
this.
living in that moment. But also, like, when he says, that's why I walk away when I go to class, I'm like, sir, you can't be present for your kid who's like in pain or upset right now. I know that like you're just not there in the class, but like there's just something about Jax not being able to be like, I feel like if your kid is in distress and you can't deal with it, like I feel like that's not great as a father. I don't feel like I like that.
Jax is terrible.
But I think the
didn't even
reason
catch
why he's-
that he said, I walk. What class does he go to?
It was swimming class, but I mean, but I think the real reason why he walks away is because in that moment, Cruz is getting more attention than Jax is, and Jax can't deal with that. And that's why he also doesn't want this video playing, not because the crying upsets him. It's because in this moment, like, I feel like Jax is in competition with Cruz. It's one of those classic things of fathers and sons being in competition. That's I guarantee with my pop psychology.
Oh God, yeah, he's a pig. So he's like, I don't want to watch that. I mean, come on, it's my child. I don't want to listen to my child crying. God, what are you going to watch it 8,000 times? And she's like, am I not allowed to be saying golly?
I wish that she wouldn't end sentences with golly, because she's like, I'm sort of more on Brittany's side on this, but when she goes, golly, I'm like, you're cut up. Like, just end it with, am I not allowed to be sad? Not the golly part, because now I'm just ridiculing you again.
Well, he's like, I mean, you're listening to a screaming child. She goes, well, you're being aggressive. And he's like, I don't want to hear it. It's my child crying. So then
says the man who's
Jasmine's
acting like a
if,
screaming child.
Yeah, I know. Jax, you're screaming and you're not even in a swimming class. So your child wouldn't even have to be in a swimming class so early if you didn't have so much footage of being useless in water. Okay?
Maybe, like, the thing is that, like, a child screaming in swimming class is age appropriate. What you do, Jax, on the regular is not age appropriate or appropriate in general.
So Jasmine speaks for everybody as usual, where she's like, yeah, if my partner spoke to me the way that Jack speaks to her, well, that wouldn't happen because we respect each other. So now everybody's back in the cars, and Brittany's like, I'm better, everybody. It just annoys me, but it's just my day to day. I just breathe for a second, then I move on. I put on one pair of glasses, and I put on a pair of sunglasses over those glasses, and I put on a pair of glasses over those sunglasses, and I put another pair of sunglasses over those sunglasses, and I can't see very well, but it might be because I'm wearing too many glasses. But when am I supposed to leave the house not with any glasses? Make me feel pretty sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Neil's like, okay, well, you know how to handle it. It works for you. She's like, I don't know what to say. This situation is really sad. And Brittany's like, well, it sucks sometimes, but what do you do? God, I do genuinely feel bad for Brittany. Like, Jax is so awful to her. Yeah. And like, there are times, like, obviously where it's like we get mad at Brittany because it feels like she's making excuses for him. But like, we get mad only because he treats her so poorly. And it's just like sad to see someone make excuses for someone who treats her so poorly. So she says like, Jax doesn't care how he talks to me in front of people, like in front of my friends, in front of my family, my dad, my mom. He just doesn't care. And he just thinks that's a big deal. Like, it's no big deal.
Yep. And so she's like, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be sick. So they have to pull over for her to barf. And she's like, God, I'm sorry, everybody. Golly, goodness gracious. I've had a weak stomach always, and gallbladder removed at 23. I'm just sick all the time. It just sucks. I mean, we didn't even drink the whole time we were there, right? Anybody see me drink? Anybody see me drink? Anybody? Where are the cameras in the porta potty? Anybody? Anybody?
So meanwhile, the bros are in the car, and Danny's like, hey, Jesse, man, I feel like you keep coming at me. And he goes like, oh, really? You crying right now? Like, classic playground bully style. Like, in such a blatant way. I actually got so mad. Not that, like, I don't have memories of people saying that to me, but it's just like, that's the thing that a bully would do. Are you crying right now? And Danny's like, I'm not crying. I just want to make sure we're on the same page, that there's no bad blood. And Jesse's like, oh, Danny's a little sensitive. And by a little, I mean a lot. And by a lot, I mean the most sensitive man I ever met. Says the guy who's about to slam the door out of the car and go run up into the bed and curl up under the covers because someone said, like, yeah, dared to ask him about this topic.
And is now pouting because he just got called out for smacking his wife on her fairly freshly done nose.
Yeah.
So Jesse's like, well, I just want to have fun. Sorry you're offended. And he's like, hey, brother, sorry you're offended. That's not an apology. Do you understand? Do you understand how that works? And he's like, and so Danny's telling us, yeah, ever since this spiritual retreat, he's been saying he's new Jesse, but it looks like the same guy with a different headband. Saying 3.
Same guy, same dent.
2.
So Danny's like, I just want to squash it. He's like, I already apologized. Will you shut the fuck up already? Seriously. God, he's so sensitive. So then,
okay, girls, don't tell Jax I had to barf, okay? He will not let me live it down, okay? He'll be mean to me about it. He'll be like, it's because you took shots, even though we all know that's how my stomach is, and I didn't take no shots, y'all.
Janet's like, yeah, if I were cursing and throwing up, Jason would be the first person I'd want to talk to, but like, so she just is like, what the fuck? This is weird. So everyone gets back to the house, and Jesse storms out of the car and runs up into the bed and hides away under the covers, which is hilarious. And Jax is like, look, you did nothing wrong. And so now Michelle comes back and she walks into the room and she's like, "Are you awake? What happened?" He goes like, "Nothing." "Well, obviously something happened. I just need a little bit of rest. I'm fine. I'm just resting." God, people are so sensitive all the time. Sensitive little pussies.
I love that he's keeping the covers over his face. He's like, "I'm fine." He's like in a little sheet tent. Just leave me alone. So now it's time to change into comfy clothes, and Jax goes up to Britt. Now he's being nice to her. So I don't know. Maybe he choo-chooed on some rails. I don't know. So he's like, "So, Britt, you done being mad at me now? You done? Come on, you're done being mad at me, right? About the baby?" And she was, "I need to lay down for a second." He's like, "God, win it."
So Jax decides to pull Michelle for a chat to tell her about what Kristen said. So after all that talk about, we should tell Jesse. He's going to tell Michelle. He was like, "Okay, well, okay, Michelle, like, I don't think it's right. I'll put 20s in the damn jar. Like, this is the last time I'm going to talk about Kristen for this hour. But, like, she told me something. Then she told me something. I told her something. But I'll say that she told it to me. That I think you really need to know that she's been passing around." She's like, "Okay, you're scaring me now."
Yeah, she's like, "Can I get a real glass for this? Because I don't like drinking out of plastic cups when affairs are about to be revealed on the camera." So they go sit down, and he's like, "Okay, so three or 4 months ago, there was a guy's night, or it was a girl's night at my house. So you guys had fun, and then I came home, and then like Kristen was hammered, and she started talking about you, and I know the kind of person Kristen is, right? I mean, when she gets to the bottom of the barrel, she's just going to do whatever she can to ruin people's lives. That's what she does." God, remember that time I dumped a girl right outside AAA? Hilarious. Okay,
She will do whatever she can to ruin someone's lives. Not that I'm doing that now, but I am planning to out rumors about your affair on camera.
Yeah, I'm about to end your marriage right now on camera for fun. You know, just for fun. And he's like, "And I want you to get ahead of it, And Kristen was like saying that Michelle is been texting you. She says you've been texting guys on the side, like a particular person on the side, like if a meat was made out of a turkey stick."
Well, I did, tell her, "Oh, I met this celebrity and I was texting him and I had coffee with him one morning." So I did say that.
No. She told me you were texting man. Michelle, I hate this. I hate this. God. So she said you're texting sexy pictures of yourself. And she's like, "Yeah, she is right. I have texted multiple people."
It's like, dun, dun, dun. I'm sure there will be a clarification at the top of the next episode, but until then, we have a week to sit in it and to find out what the hell she meant.
Dun, 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 dun. Well, everybody, that brings us to the end of the Valley, everybody. Kristen, thank you so much for being with us. We'll talk to you some other time.
Yeah, some other time. Thanks for being here. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Stroll in the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. We want to hang with Liz Lang. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
We forever love Ava.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish. It's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch. She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Ring that bell for Rachel.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony.
Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
I'm Shimol Yai, and I have a new podcast called The Competition. Every year, 50 high school senior girls compete in a massive scholarship competition.
I wouldn't say I have an ego problem, but I'm extremely competitive.
All of the competitors are used to being the best and the brightest, and they're all vying for a huge cash prize.
This will probably be the most intense thing you've ever gone through in your life.
I remember that feeling because I was one of them. I lost. But now I'm coming back as a judge and also a kind of teen girl anthropologist. Because if you want to understand what it's like to be a young woman in America today, the competition's not a bad place to start.
Hopefully, no one will die on stage tonight.
From Pineapple Street Studios and Wondery, this is The Competition. Follow The Competition on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to The Competition early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
I'm Elena, an autopsy technician.
And I'm Ash, a hairstylist.
And we just love swapping stories about all of the morbid things that fascinate us.
And if you do too, join us on our podcast, Morbid. It's a safe space to let your weirdo flag fly.
On Morbid, we cover dark historical events, sinister science, unnerving paranormal events, and sordid high society murders.
We also dive deep into the most notorious crimes in history.
Our podcast is grounded in rigorous and painstaking research. We're also not afraid to read a
Yeah. We keep it weird because a dash of snark is necessary to get through grotesque true tales of demented minds.
So follow Morbid on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Morbid early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.